You guys, it's Mary.
And Alma.
We invite you guys to like,
Share
subscribe,
and comment.
down below, y'all,
I
because
really didn't want to talk about this. I really didn't. I think it's horrific.
yeah,
I think it's horrific. A 6-year-old boy. His mom said for the past few months, he had been acting up and acting strange, and so she started taking away privileges from him, like phone privileges, I don't know, game privileges, TV privileges, not knowing that this boy was being raped. For anyone who has gone through sexual assault, this is not for you.
yeah,
Not knowing that this boy was being raped by an older student in the back of the school bus every day. And it wasn't until he lost his backpack that she went to try to figure out what happened to it. And so the school was like, oh, well, we have cameras on the bus. Which I'm like, you have cameras on the bus for what? Because obviously you all did not see, obviously someone is not watching these cameras every day.
someone ain't doing their job.
Right? Because if you have cameras on the bus, you should be looking on the cameras on the bus every day to make sure that there's nothing that you need to intervene in.
Yeah,
It wasn't until a few months later when he lost his bag, the mom's trying to figure out, she went to the school to try to figure out what was going on. They said, okay, we have cameras on the bus, we're going to figure it out. She gets a call from the school for her to come in, only to be told that we looked in the cameras and we see what has been going on with your son. He has been raped by an older student every day on the bus for the past few months.
it just
Sexually assaulted. Like,
just
it
so
blew
sad.
my mind. And I felt bad for the mom because sometimes, there's no excuse. For me, I think before I started having kids, I used to read child psychology books before I even started having children. Because I just wanted to know, even though I felt like I'll be a good mom, but I wanted to know, like, just some of the milestones that children reach and stuff. And one of them, like, when a child is 6 years old, really at that age, they're trying to please their mom. They're not having attitudes at 6.
yeah,
They're not. So if my child for the past few months is having an attitude and whatever, I need to get down to the root of what's
Yeah,
going on. Like, I'm going to the school, I'm going to try to figure it out. I don't care if I'm working 2-3 jobs. That's going to be on pause to figure out why my child is displaying an anomaly of what they said how a 6-year-old is.
yeah,
A 6-year-old is not supposed to be having attitudes and not listening to you
yeah,
to the point that you got to take away privileges from a 6-year-old.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Not even a 10-year-old. At that age, the kids, they want to please their parents at that age. So I feel bad for the mom. Obviously, she did not know that, so she just felt like, oh, child acting up, whatever. And then also I blame the school too. Because why the hell do you have cameras on the bus? And so the bus driver says, oh, well, they did see, some fighting back there, but she thought it was just fighting. You see fighting, why don't you stop the bus and go see what's going on? You're the adult. And I really think on the buses, there should be a bus driver and there should be another adult.
yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Who either sits at the back, so that when stuff is going on, they can see what's going on.
Yeah,
Because those buses are huge.
yeah,
So it's like, these days you don't even have enough teachers with all the craziness that's going on in the school. So I know you don't have enough bus drivers. You understand what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I if you don't have the manpower to have probably, I don't know, 3 adults on the bus driver and 2 other adults, then you just have to tell the school. You just have to let the school know, look, we cannot aptly secure your children, these amount of kids. So some of you have to pick up your kids from school,
yeah,
and rotate that stuff. That just has to be, because you have to be concerned about the safety of these children.
yeah,
But that is horrible. And what's even more horrible is that did no other students, there is such a thing about not snitching culture in America, I guess. None of the other students, did they ever tell their parents? about it. I
know.
guess we'll know as time goes on. But did they ever tell their parents, hey, mom, this guy is touching some student? And what did the parents say? Did they say, oh, don't look at that? Or, oh, that's their problem?
Yeah.
Or, you know what I'm saying? There's just still so much to find out. How in the world does your 6-year-old get raped by an older student? And why are older students riding on that same bus ride?
I have no idea. Just so
I
sad.
mean, like, I remember when my son, I think he was in the first grade, and, he was kind of getting a reputation, like, fighting and stuff like that. And I remember one time, he had an awful teacher who ended up, anyway, she got fired. But I remember one time, the teacher telling me, oh, he went and he was fighting this third grader and blah, blah, blah. My question was, what the hell is a third grader doing with the first graders? Why are they hanging around? They should be in their own area.
Yeah.
And why is he fighting this third grader? Like, what did the third grader do?
Yeah.
Like, you should have them separated.
Yeah.
And that was like a whole thing. We had to have meetings and whatever. So now what the school started doing, they started separating them. First graders are with first graders. Third graders are with third graders.
Yeah.
Because I don't want my child hanging out with an older I just don't.
Yeah.
But that, and then I was working, I don't know, 2-3 jobs, but all of that had to be on pause. Anytime something happened with my son, I had to shut everything down.
Yeah.
In fact, it even became a laughing thing, because as soon as the school called, the doctors would be like, you got to go, Nurse Alma, all right. You said again, huh? Yep, got to go. Sorry, got to clock out.
Yeah.
All that had to be on pause because,
Yeah.
We are not there in school. The kids, there's so much influences in school. Peer influences, stuff going on with teachers,
Yeah.
And as parents, something's going on with our children. Sometimes you have to stop. And I hate to say that because this has already happened.
Yeah.
I don't want the mom to feel bad,
Yeah.
But I just feel like there is enough blame to go around on this blame pie.
Yeah, for sure.
The school, the bus driver, the busing system, whoever is in charge of that.
Yeah.
Some on the mom too, because this was for months. 6-year-old is misbehaving. A 6-year-old does not get up and just misbehave.
For no reason.
That's not the age for them to be misbehaving to the point you got to take away privileges.
Yeah.
As parents, those of you who are parents to young children now, and if you're watching this, really invest in some child psychology. Try to find out when these milestones are, so that when your child is acting other than what the milestones say, and in a bad way,
Yeah.
you got to really do that research.
Yeah.
And sometimes I know, especially if you're a single mom,
Yeah.
it's hard because you got to put food on the table. You have so much that you're trying to do. But it's not worth it to go to work and your child is not secure.
Right.
Because that pain that you feel after something like this happens, you can never get it back. The only saving grace maybe is that he is still very young.
So he might be able to forget.
He might forget, or with therapy and all that, he'll be, I don't know.
Anyway, that
it just
little
breaks my
boy needs
heart.
to go
It
to
just
jail.
really breaks my heart. It just breaks my heart completely. It just really breaks my heart. Yeah, it breaks my heart. That just breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just breaks my heart.
And my thing is,
just
I
breaks
think
my
the
heart.
older child
Breaks my heart.
probably, like, how do you know to do all this
I
sick
don't know.
stuff?
That's the
He's
other
probably
thing.
getting sexually abused as
Yeah.
well. Because,
Yeah, because-
it's just like R. Kelly. His sister was doing it to him.
Yeah.
He started doing it to other people.
Yeah.
But his brother also was getting raped by the sister or
know.
whatever. But he didn't go out and turn into a monster.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So you
Yeah.
either become a monster or you try to do better or something. Or try to...
Yeah,
You
but
know.
it's just.
So
yeah,
I
I
think
thought
he-
about that too.
Yeah, I think-
I thought about that older child.
Because
Like,
it couldn't be
how
some
are
college
you-
student or some high schooler. I mean, it has
Yeah.
to be someone who's within that same age group,
No, they
like
said an
middle
older
school.
student.
Yeah, older student. So it has to
Oh.
be maybe a higher up middle schooler or something.
Like a middle schooler.
Yeah,
okay,
you know what
right.
I'm saying? So the thing is,
Because
he's still
6 years old
he
is
has
first
to
grade.
be under 15. He can't be 14 because
no.
how are you having a sixth grader with a high schooler? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I'm
Yeah.
saying
Because
maybe
sixth
he
grade.
is also dealing with that as well, and he's
Absolutely.
doing what someone has been doing to him.
And
So you
if
see,
I am the parent of that child. Now I gotta find out, where did you learn to do those things? Like, I got to also find out.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Kids don't just come out and be nasty and evil and do like these effed up stuff. Some
Yeah.
sickie has taught them
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And he probably feels better about himself doing it to the other child. You know what I'm saying? So it's just
He
really
can only
sick.
do what he knows.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it goes so deep,
Yeah,
and it's
it
just
really
really
does.
sad and it's sick. I feel
And I am
horrible for the
so
mom.
mad. I'm actually really so mad at the school. Like, why the hell do you have cameras on the buses?
What is
but
it
you
for?
Don't check. You don't check the camera. What security is that? Oh, we have security there, cameras. But only if something happens, then we can look through the log of the cameras and figure out how it happened. But there's no preventative method
Measures.
where you are actively watching so you can intervene before something happens.
You know, that's what we were taught as lifeguards. You know, when I was a lifeguard, they always said, you know, you don't want to have an accident happen ever because someone drowns, they're dead.
Exactly.
We don't want lawsuits. So they
Yeah.
said what we do is we do, preventive measures.
Yeah,
So we
preventive
have,
measures.
sometimes if it's a big pool or whatever, we have like almost 20 lifeguards up just watching like
Around.
maybe like a few
A little
square
extra-
feet
yeah.
of like the pool.
Yeah.
And then we rotate.
So that was
So-
like an Olympic-sized pool that you all were going to.
Yeah, it was a huge pool, very
It was
deep
the
and all that.
biggest one in actually Montgomery and Prince George's County. Like in
Yeah.
those whole counties, it was the biggest pool.
Yeah, it was called the
Yeah.
Prince George's Sports and Learning Center.
Surely,
Yes.
surely was.
So that's the thing.
Yeah.
You can't really
You
just.
can't.
You have
And
to
if
be
they
able
don't
to
have
do
enough
preventative
lifeguards,
measures.
then we gotta shut down.
Yeah,
They'll
exactly.
shut down part of the pool
Yeah.
because we
They don't have enough. Yeah.
manpower to manpower this whole thing.
You have cameras, but you're not doing anything.
That's what
you
I'm
have
saying.
all these kids
It
on the
was
bus,
for
but
a
you have
few
no
months.
security.
It
You
was
have
for
no.
a few months.
Kids have to be watched. I'm sorry.
So
Kids have
you
to
guys,
be watched.
You guys are not even looking at the cameras on a monthly basis. I don't even understand. Why the hell do you have the camera?
It's crazy.
So
Actually
even
crazy.
each month or even each week, okay, maybe you'll say, okay, I'm not doing it every day, right?
Yeah.
But at least each week or every 2
I know.
weeks, you're looking through it.
I'll
None
be-
of that.
Listen,
None of that. For
I
a
will
few
make an
months.
example out of the school and I'll go sue.
No,
I will
I'm
be
sure.
sued.
Yeah.
I hope she sues.
At first, she did not even want to come forward. At first, because the first time they talked about this, she did not want to come forward because she didn't want people to know who this happened to. But I saw the one yesterday. She came out.
Yeah.
She came out because she's like, this is like, it's bigger than her now.
Yeah.
You know.
You have to really listen to you have to hear what's going on with your kids. You have to be able to see them. You have
Yeah.
to be aware
bigger
enough
than
to know
her.
what's
Yeah.
going on.
And it's very brave of her to come out and show her face. The same thing with that mother who was beat up and raped by her son.
Yeah.
Came out and showed her face because these things can happen.
You have to bring
And
awareness
to it, and
Yeah.
hopefully to other schools
Yeah,
who
absolutely.
have cameras on the buses but doing nothing with them. Maybe they will start doing that more,
Yeah, absolutely.
policing that more. Like it's so unfortunate.
Very, very sad.
It's very, very sad. I mean, we always say, oh, we don't want police in the schools. We don't want this there.
We have
But
security
with
guards.
stuff like this going on, I'm like, shoot, put 2 police officers on the bus. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, we don't, but I mean, something like this happens.
My thing is,
for
I
a
feel
few
like
months, and it's on a public area.
how does that even happen?
And the bus driver is there driving the bus, but thinking there's a fight, but you continue to drive the bus. Where are you going if there's a fight on the bus?
Well, she probably just trying to get to her
I
route
don't even know
to
if
get
it was
home.
a she or a he, but it's like that pressure.
My
right?
thing is, I feel like the issue with the police,
Ugh.
I feel like the police have too much responsibility.
Yeah.
That's the issue. I feel like they need
So
to
you
really
think
break
maybe-
it up, and they need
Yeah.
the police department should really be into
They
several
probably
different
need to
things.
do the ones who handle buses should also have classes on child psychology. So they're not going nuts acting the plum.
That's what I'm saying. You can't expect
Yeah.
the police to do
Just
everything. I
all-
feel like they
yeah, I
need
see
to
what
break
you're
it up
saying.
and have different sects. Like,
That's
parts
true.
of the police department, this is for the
The
drug
children,
units,
yes.
people who are on drugs,
That's a good
domestic
idea.
violence, you have
You're
sex
here.
for that.
Yes.
Kids and schools,
You have-
security for
oh,
that.
oh,
You have a
sex
different
for that.
sex for that.
They said sex for that.
No.
Like,
Hell no.
yeah. Yeah,
So
I got
that's
you.
the issue
Yeah.
with police department. You can't expect all these. Most of the time, it's a lot of high school dropouts that come and be police officers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you have to have people who
Yeah.
have gone to school or something like that
Yeah.
to deal with different sects of stuff.
And some of them, a lot of them have gone to school. Like
Some have gone
yeah,
to
so,
school, of
like,
course, and stuff. But
yeah.
I mean, something. It's not like super hard to
Yeah.
become a police officer.
I think a lot of them, and I don't know. I wonder, you guys who are police officers, do they have psychological training, like before you become like psychological classes?
I would say the police can't do
Psychology
everything. They
classes?
have to
But
really
they can.
break.
They really have to break it up. Where okay,
Yeah.
I'm dealing with children. These are the ages. This is what I need to know.
Yeah, exactly.
But it just can't be just generalized. Just go, because then that adrenaline is pumping for anybody.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's just too much. And then
Yeah,
you
it's
can't
a
really
lot.
be having guns and stuff at the school for
Yeah.
a police officer. I mean, if it's a school shooting, then yes, you should. But
Yeah.
you should have tasers and stuff.
Yeah.
Like if someone is sexually assaulting somebody,
Yeah.
definitely should tase their ass.
Well,
or
just the
whatever.
fact that the
You know
cop
what I'm
is
saying?
there, probably that will not occur.
Exactly.
If you and even if you have, like I was saying,
I think you should have security in
the two people
schools.
on the bus, the two adults on the bus,
yeah.
who one is there and then one is here, and something happens like security or something.
Yeah.
You know,
I just
So-
think it's a shame when we have to start having police officers in school and security.
Everywhere.
It's a shame.
Like,
it
I
really
just-
is a shame.
yeah.
Honestly, that
This
child
is so
should go to
deplorable.
jail.
It's
As far
so-
as I'm concerned, because he is on his way to become
Yeah.
some goddamn R. Kelly. As far as I'm concerned, you're doing that to a child at this age, even though it has happened to you.
I
You're doing it
really-
to someone else.
Yeah, I really hope. Yeah, the child is too young for that. The child doesn't know what is happening to him for him to do to the other child of that age. I don't think so.
When
At
the
that
boy
age,
is
maybe
probably
you
in
can
pain
be
or is
rehabilitated.
wincing or whatever, you know it's
Ugh.
wrong.
Oh God, let's not go that deep.
I'm not going deep, but I'm
But
just
you're
saying,
right, you're
you
right,
know
yeah.
innately when something is wrong and right. So when that boy is probably trying to, like I said, was
Yeah,
fighting,
yeah.
I'm sure he was trying to fight him off. He
Yes.
knew it was wrong. So as far as I am concerned, you know
It was
at
a
least
choice.
that.
Well,
It was
maybe,
a choice. You decided to go and abuse somebody
But maybe-
who was younger than you.
Maybe that's what happened to him, and he was fighting, and it didn't matter. It was still happening.
You see R. Kelly's brother, he did not go out there and become some sexual pedophile.
Yeah,
He didn't
I
do
hear-
that.
I hear what you're saying.
We have to watch that
before
so
they're-
someone is to
before
talk
they're
about it.
going to jail.
Yeah.
I will really want them to find out
What happened?
where that older student got that from.
You know,
Because obviously there's probably an adult.
every single
doing
day
that.
I have more reasons and excuses to not put my kids in the school system.
Oh,
Honestly, you know,
I mean,
I
kids will have
it's
to-
too much.
yeah.
On a bus,
yeah.
a bus.
Yeah. I mean,
I ain't got
I never
much
let
to
my
say.
kids do the bus. I
You always
couldn't-
pick this up.
Yeah, I couldn't. For some reason, I never really trusted the bus.
I don't trust the bus either.
I never really trusted the whole bus situation, because sometimes that's another forum for kids to be bullied.
Yeah.
So I didn't really trust the whole bus thing.
I mean,
And
we went to
so-
school for elementary school, and that was
Yeah.
it. I think we had middle,
for a
middle,
few
high
classes
school.
in that.
Yeah.
A few, very little classes, but
We had middle and high school at home. We
Yeah.
were homeschooled.
yeah.
And I honestly always say it is the best decision you have ever made. Even though you always tell me don't homeschool my kids,
Yeah.
I honestly
But
believe
it's a lot of work.
homeschooling was the best decision
Oh,
that my mom
man.
ever made for us,
Well,
like
that's so
for
sweet.
our like
Yeah.
education. Because I was
It was-
able to nurture my whole like
Yeah.
creativity, my
Yeah.
fashion, my painting, all
Yeah.
of my. You know, my talents.
stuff that you
I
like
would not
to
have been
do.
able to do it at school because one,
Yeah.
people did not like me. I was what did they call it? The
Teacher's
teacher's pet. You know what I'm saying? People did not like me.
Who the
I
hell
would be
she
a
think
snitch.
she is?
Some girl actually threatened to
You
beat
ain't
me
that
up,
cute.
and they used to call me Oreo because I spoke well. You know how they say you black but you white because you speak well, which was so ignorant to me,
Yeah.
honestly.
It was,
But I just did
yeah.
not care. I did not give a damn about my
You
peers.
actually did not. You
I
actually
was like,
didn't.
look, y'all are not going to help me get a job. Y'all are not going to help me get to a successful
Where I need to
future.
be.
So I'm going to
I
go
need to
and...
stay close to my teacher and my
Yes.
principal.
Exactly. That was me.
And I was looking at her, I was like, oh man.
So that's the thing, man. Like, it's too much because you have all these different kids in school who have different upbringings, and you don't know you don't know them, you don't know the parents, you don't know the family history. Like, so you don't know why kids will be acting a certain way. Me
Yeah.
personally, listen. I say, hey, you got homeschooling, you got Khan Academy, you can do that, then do that.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things you can do.
Anyway,
But
I mean,
that's sad. It's a very sad story. The whole thing is
know.
sad. It's a very sad. I didn't want to do the story,
yeah.
but I'm happy we did.
Cause it came up in my mind. I was like, are we
Because
supposed
I
to
think
talk
about the people who now have children who take the bus.
Yeah.
I think that you guys should definitely, maybe at a PTA meeting, really ask your school, do you guys have cameras on the bus? And how often do you check the camera? And let
They
your,
should have
let your
security
school
on the
know
bus.
about this story. We're going to link it down below. But let
Yeah.
your school know about this story so that
Yeah.
they can understand that something like this can happen at their school
Yeah.
if they are not vigilant enough.
And they should be able to have
So-
somebody, an adult from the school who just goes on all the buses and walks up and down the aisles to make sure
Yeah.
everybody is in line.
Absolutely.
That's what I would do.
And if they are not, get them off the bus and send them home with a slip that you don't get on the bus no more.
Yeah.
That's it. If this is where you're gonna fight, like we have to become.
More vigilant of our kids.
I tell you,
Yeah.
but taking the bus, someone picking you up from school and taking you to school and bringing you home, it's a privilege.
Yeah.
It's a privilege. It's not something that you're entitled to because you're going to school.
Yeah.
And so if you violate that, then you don't get to ride the damn bus.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I just want you guys to know the story.
But
And
yeah.
I'm so sorry for the lady, that this happened with your son. And also for the other one whose child did this. This is so much for them too.
I know.
And also for, you have to find out
you imagine
where
your
your child learned to do that. That's what you have to learn. But for the mother whose son has suffered like this, I'll say a special prayer for you today and for your child.
Yeah.
That, God just washes him off of this.
Yeah.
helps him to
Removes this
just
from
put
his memory.
all the stain
And do not
of
go
it.
and remind him when he's older
No, that
about
this
what
to
happened.
you.
He is 6. He is at an age where he can actually forget about it
Yeah.
and live his
And
life
he
freely.
can do therapy and then, and just, continue to pray over him.
Yeah.
Every night during the day, just pray over him.
I think everything happens
Yeah.
for a reason, and maybe this will help another parent who is dealing
Yeah.
with a child go and be more
absolutely,
vigilant with their
absolutely.
child.
And actually have those conversations with
Yeah.
them.
I mean,
you know,
you used to
'cause I
have those
was-
conversations with us all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Did anybody touch you
As
inappropriate today?
soon as my children could talk, I was already having that conversation with them
Yeah.
of who is not allowed, like, no one is allowed to touch you there.
Oh, and we did not do
Like, as
sleepovers
soon
at
as they
all.
could
Not
talk.
even with family. Not
No, I
like even
didn't.
with my aunts, my
I
uncle,
did
their
not do-
kids,
no, I didn't do
cousins, nothing.
sleepovers like that.
I remember I had a sleepover one day
Yeah.
with the neighbor. You came
Yeah.
at midnight to pick me up before
Yeah.
we all went to sleep.
Yeah.
It was right next door.
I don't do sleepovers like that now. Hey, if you're going on, I don't know, vacation, whatever, but just saying, I
You
make
can't
it a
trust
point of that
everybody, honestly.
because I know myself. I don't want to end up in jail. I don't want to have to kill someone. So because of that, and yes, we do not
Condone
condone
violence on this channel.
but I know myself, and I don't want to put myself in any position that some foolishness happens and I'm going to jail because of somebody who did something to my child. So,
Yeah.
but I'm really sorry about that. Very, very sorry about that. I will say a prayer for your son and for you,
Yeah.
And thank you for coming forward and putting a face to the story.
Yeah.
Because I know in the beginning you didn't want to, but it's very brave of you to actually do that, so people can understand that this is real. You're a real person. Your son is a real person. This happened to.
Yeah.
This horrific, thing happened to.
It's just a shame.
Yeah.
But it's Mary.
And Amma,
We invite you guys to like,
share,
subscribe.
and comment
Down
down
below.
below. And please find out from your school. Do they have cameras on the buses, and how many times, how often do they monitor that?
Yeah.